once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 25 for July 29th, 2012. My name's Tony, and I'm joined, as always, by my, well, not really.
Not as always.
It's me and Mark today. Jason had two things going on. He's got a birthday today, so very, very happy birthday to him. And he's also moving, so he didn't have time to come in this week. Boo!
Yeah, I know. Slacker.
So me and Mark have decided to go solo. Now we're trying it from a whole different setup today, and we're actually liking this quite well. I hope it turns out well.
Yeah, it's going good.
This what are we running? Crystal? It's good stuff. So I guess, I don't know, hop into our weekly roundtable?
Yeah, definitely.
Our weekly line table
Yeah,
today.
line table. We don't have a circle. All right, let's see. This week was a good weekend for me. I didn't work much, and I got some game time in. Big baseball week. I don't know why. Anywho, other than that, I did Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. I was trying to record some stuff for you guys. I was running into problems with Fraps, so I ended up buying Bandicam. It works a little bit better. I was getting like this weird audio lag like halfway through that you just can't fix. So
That's weird.
yeah, so like it would be good until like about 3-4 minutes in, and then like what happens is like the processor starts to like bog down or lag or something like that. I was learning up on it, and everyone's like raging over it. But Bandicam a little bit better. Well, I haven't had that problem at least yet. Other than that, I did Batman Arkham Asylum on the PCs.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was fun.
Yeah, I've been in a Batman-y mood myself.
Yeah,
I
I
finally
downloaded the animated series too, and I actually started watching that too.
Yeah, year one.
Yeah.
I went back and did that as well. No, I've been playing a little bit of Arkham City. I did almost everything there is to do in Arkham Asylum except beating it on hard. So I didn't really see a point to go back and do it. I don't know. Arkham City, I still have quite a bit to do. I got Operation Flashpoint Red River. Not so good.
See, I kind of like it a little bit. Like that one, they totally went away from the series. It plays completely different.
Yeah.
Because I've been a Flashpoint player for a while, but it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't get into
Very
it.
cutscene-y, and they have
Yeah.
the Sergeant Kirby or something like that, and never shuts up.
Oh yeah. He talks a lot.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird. I didn't really get into it, and I didn't really get too far. I just kind of left it alone. I was just like, man, it's not for me. I played. If anybody follows us on Twitter, I started 40,000 Space Marine Warhammer.
Oh yeah.
Whatever the hell. Wow, is that a Gears of War ripoff?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it fails to do anything well. It poorly
It's-
replicates everything from Gears of War.
Yeah, it's kind of like the I mean, it's not terrible, but it's like a decent copy.
Yeah,
But nothing's good. Nothing's outstanding. Nothing's terrible.
It's weird. It's weird. It's just mediocre at everything.
Mhm.
They totally ripped everything off. There's even like a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Then a few minutes later, I got introduced to their version of the ticker. These little crawly things that come in like kamikaze bombers.
Yeah,
and-
I know their series is a little bit older than Gears.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I'm not really familiar with it. I mean, that's a series that's gone from like RTS to freaking third-person shooter to top-down shooter. I mean, that series has no set genre.
Yeah, they dabble in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, I want to get into. I finally beat Saints Row 3 because I put a lot of time. Actually, I'll get into that.
Did you do the 2 endings that they have?
Yeah, I'll get into all that in a second because I actually wanted to talk a little bit about Saints Row 3. But since I beat it, I went back on for PlayStation Plus a couple months back. I got Saints Row 2 for free, so I gave that a shot and started. I put a couple hours into that, not really digging it. Saints Row
They're
3.
serious.
That was the last big
Miley
game.
Kunis is in the first Saints Row.
Really?
She is, or Mila Kunis.
Yeah,
She's one of the villains in the first game. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that one. I started with 3, so
I did 1 and 3. Yeah, I couldn't get into 2 for some reason. After what I knew 3 was.
it looks like a last gen game.
Yeah.
Saints 2 did.
Literally, if you go to any of those older sandbox games, they all look like they're last gen just because, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't know the tech yet. But Saints Row 3, I know I've told you guys I've been playing it, but I've been spending a majority of the time doing side missions. I was running around
Oh,
collecting.
there's a ton to do. I did all the collectibles and stuff.
That's what I was doing, but I barely touched the campaign. I was running around collecting sex dolls and buying all the property so I would get more hourly income and running around doing that kind of stuff as opposed to actually playing the campaign. The campaign's not very long at all. Once you sit down and do it,
Yeah.
you could
it's
probably
still
tear through it in
good,
4 or
though.
5 hours. It's really good.
I would. I don't know. It might be a little bit longer than that. I wouldn't give it a Call of Duty length. I still think it's a little bit longer than that.
Well, the problem is, the way I played it probably made it easier because I was so built up from running around getting all the sextiles. I was a level 50, like infinite health, infinite ammo.
I laid off on buying those upgrades just because I was like, oh, these are just too easy.
I just
Those
had
are the
too much
only
money.
upgrades. I have too much money too, but like literally one day I actually left my Xbox on and I came back from work and then I just got like almost $1 million from that.
Yeah.
And,
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, I didn't do it that way, but just from putting so many hours into it before I barely even touched the campaign, I had so much money and my player was so built up that I think that's why I ran through the campaign so
Yeah.
quickly. But my God, that is one of the funnest games I've ever played. Definitely one of the best games of the year last year. That I don't want to say it got overlooked because it sold over 4 million copies.
yeah, it's still not. A lot of people who were waiting for Grand Theft Auto went to it, so they got a ton of people from that, and I think they have a built-up audience now that the fourth one's gonna have some good sales, better sales at least.
That game was just so fun, dude.
It is.
I got the multiple. And
Great.
it was great. You're just running in the end, like you got Bonnie Tyler's "I Need a Hero" playing in the background as you're running through and beating the boss up. It's just so much fun. If you accidentally passed up on that game, please do yourself a favor and go play it. That you will not be disappointed. That is
I completely agree.
So much fun, that game. But yeah, that's what I spent a majority of my time doing this week.
Yeah, no, that game just had so much going for it.
Okay, sorry about that. I had a quick phone call.
And everyone's
We're
phones
back.
are going off.
Everybody,
And,
that's
yeah,
right there.
so
That's
Saints
my
Row
phone.
3.
Jason's
One
call-
second.
Jason's
Yeah,
calling.
we're
us.
gonna put it on pause.
Hop in the news.
Yeah, hopping in the news here. All right, cool. Right now, you can't do it anymore because I already tried, but you can beta test for the next Xbox Live dashboard. If any of you actually got into it, let me know because it filled up like instantly. Basically, what you can do is you can get to try out the new Internet Explorer, and the only cool thing that might come out of the next update is there's going to have like recommendation. It's personalized dashboard recommendations. What that actually means, at first reading it, I was like, oh, cool, I get to, personalize my dashboard. No, I don't think that's, after rereading it twice, I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think there's going to be like hey, you're playing this. Maybe you'll like the DLC for this. Go purchase it,
You think that's what they're gonna do?
I think so. Because, wait, when you say that personally, because it says personalized,
Yeah.
which you think, okay, maybe I can drag some stuff around or something like that. But then the recommendations, I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably what it's going to be.
I think they realized how big of a mistake they made with this last update, and they're gonna change quite a bit. I know the whole reason they did this was to force the Kinect integration onto you.
Yeah.
I mean, we reported on this a few months back. All the people that are losing their jobs because of this update. They canceled. What were all those shows called? Like Official OXM.
Yeah, they had all that got shut
They
down.
had Major's Minute. They had those two English dudes.
Yeah, that was for the
fuck's it
sent you a
called?
message.
Sent you a message. All those guys lost their jobs because this new dashboard hid their shows so deep with it. Like, I've bitched about this many times in the show. It's like 15 keystrokes on Xbox just to play the game or to look up your games that you have saved on your hard drive. Something's inherently wrong when you have to when you have to pass music and movies to get to your games on a gaming device.
Yeah.
There's a design flaw within that.
Yeah.
And I know they do it on purpose so you pass the maximum amount of ads on your way to your destination, but it's just a wrong way to look at it. I am glad that they do update every year because PlayStation's looked virtually the same.
Yeah, I
since
believe so.
PSN
I mean,
launched.
they've added more tabs and stuff, but
minor stuff. I mean, at least Xbox tries, but I think since 2 ago they've just gone downhill, and I hope this one gets back. We're approaching the end of the life cycle, so whatever. And I'm getting used to this one, sadly. But it's
I'm already used to it.
It's terrible. It really is. It's the worst one they've ever had.
Yeah, it's so hard to even remember. Like, I'm having trouble remembering what the one before it looked like at this point. So I mean,
It was like up, down, and
yeah.
left, right,
Okay,
just
yeah,
those-
I did
those-
a little bit. I did like that though.
Yeah.
I wish I'd like going up and down.
Yeah, the blades were cool too.
Yeah.
The thing with because I think I have an idea of what they're doing, because I think they unintentionally leaked it a little at E3 if you were paying attention. It looks like more like slates for the tab as opposed to, what is it now, 2x4, so it's 8 or 2x5.
It's 2x4.
2x4. It looks
And
like
sometimes 2x3 if they do the stupid giant ad.
that's what I was actually gonna say. It's like I think 3x4, so it's 12 slates per page now.
Yeah, basically.
So they could probably add 2 advertisements per page, and then maybe a couple different options.
I think the forward compatible should get up on the Xbox.
That's what I'm fucking saying. IGN got a spot. Why can't we?
Yeah. Who are they?
Aside from that, I know the big overhaul for it is, the thing that nobody asked for, Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
9, right?
Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
Which they're doing huge ads on TV with now, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last update slowed Xbox down. I know we talk about this away from the podcast.
Yeah, I have noticed it because they did that like minor hotfix or something like, I don't remember, a few weeks ago.
It got a little faster.
It did get a little bit faster. I am not having as much trouble with Netflix or anything like that, so I'm a little bit happier about that.
Sometimes it's seriously ridiculous. It's like 20, 30 seconds to load
I've
a
had
video.
longer than that.
Yeah, it's like, are you kidding?
I've had minutes worth of, it's stuck on the 97 to 99% range, like in between there, and it just keeps loading. There's nothing you can do. You can exit out. Sometimes it gets quicker. Sometimes you just wasted a few seconds of backing out, going back in.
I remember when I had HBO Go too. It was really slow for a while. When I first got it, it was really fast. Then it got slower.
See, HBO Go, I did not have as much trouble with.
Yeah, it was always quicker than Netflix.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever. I think it'll. I don't see how much they can't get much worse.
Yeah, basically. I don't think it can get much slower without them just completely fucking it.
I don't understand why the Kinect makes everything so much slower though.
It's the processing of it. Like, it has to go through another thing, has to process what you're saying, then it has to go through. So I mean, it's a few seconds.
Extra steps.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. All right, so we got the next story. It seems that Ubisoft wants Desmond gone from the Assassin's Creed series. They went into kind of like a roundtable kind of discussion question, and it was the creative director, Alex Hutchinson, said that by making gamers have to remember like 7 years of backstory for him, it's taking away, like, they're basically thinking that most gamers are kind of done with his character. So there's a possibility. I don't know if he's gonna be ending, this is his last game for Assassin's Creed 3, or if they're gonna keep going with it. This was just a roundtable discussion that was going around this week, and yeah. So what do you think?
I get what they're saying. For me personally, I want to be very clear. I bought Revelations. It's still sitting in the cellophane.
I don't like it. Actually, there's my Revelation sitting on my shelf right there. That was the worst one of the series. Yeah. Like, they went too much into the Desmond story, and I didn't really care as much about Desmond's story as it was Ezio's story.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, because like they had that stupid. I mean, you haven't played it yet because it's still sitting in your cellophane. But they have like those stupid first-person missions, and then they have the Animus Islands. So like when you collect things, you unlock those first-person missions, and you go play them. And they just don't seem to go anywhere. Like, his story, like, they're saying in the round table, like, his story is stretched too far, which I can agree with, because, like, I don't really know what his deal is anymore. Like, before, he was escaping from the control of, I can't remember from the first and second one, when he was escaping, and, like, now I just don't really know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. I haven't played the most recent one, so I don't know what Revelations is, and now you just kind of told me. But as far as Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and Brotherhood go, and as well as the one on PSP, which I'm only about halfway through, maybe.
I'm trying the iPhone one, too. Yeah, Bloodlines.
Okay. Throughout those three, like, Desmond's such, like, he's not
the main character.
I even... I don't even want to call him a secondary character. He's not even that important. He's like a third dairy. I'm making up words. I don't care. Yeah. He's nothing. I guess they went into more depth with him in Revelations. I haven't played that yet. But
that was like a big on him, and it flopped more than the rest of them did.
As far as the other 3 or 4 went, he's nothing. He's like this little... I honestly forget he's part of the story.
Yeah.
Every like 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, it makes you hop out to him again, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this
Yeah,
guy.
this is going on. Fake world that I've been in this whole time.
This whole thing's a memory. You like forget about that crap. It immerses you so well.
Yeah.
That you're just like, he's so unnecessary. So if they feel they need to do this, I guess that's fine. You could have like 20 more years in the future, Desmond's kid or something.
Yeah.
Fine. Like
anyone else in the the Assassin's Creed, like that, would step up and fill his role.
Yeah.
Because literally his character it doesn't really matter. Like Revelations was so built on filling in his story, and you didn't really care about his story enough to begin with. So it just kind of flopped. Like I literally, even when you're playing as Ezio in that game, it's pretty boring. There's like so many tail missions where you have to chase the guy around, or just like don't be seen. It was the most boring one of the whole series. I'm not even through with it because I'm just completely I would say almost done with it basically.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking so forward to 3. I don't mean to get off subject.
Oh no, I was gonna go into that one
actually,
too.
I'm looking forward to both of them. I'm gonna get the Vita version as well because that one just seems cool, like in New Orleans or whatever.
Yeah.
It's finally a different world because they, as cool as the Roman background is that they created, it was definitely time to move on.
Yeah.
And the American, the whole game just looks like it's gonna be way different, a lot more fast paced and a lot more brutal. Because like now it was a lot of sneaking on top of rooftops and whatnot, and you don't have that in colonial America. What you have is him running through forests.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be like,
oh, I love when he's going tree to tree. It looks awesome.
yeah, those hooks and stuff. It looks like a lot quicker, and as opposed to some of the biggest problems I had with the first ones, as great of games as they were and as entertaining as they were, they're pretty flawed. The combat system's atrocious. There's a lot of
They fixed it a lot in Brotherhood. I like the whole
Brotherhood got.
I mean, yeah, all
they
you
got
do
better
is
every game.
Oh yeah, they did. All you do is hold down right trigger and counter. That's how you kill everybody.
But see, that's lame. You have to sit there and wait for them to attack.
I know, but like the way you kill them makes it so interesting because like it's. I mean, they have a few different moves. Revelation's actually the most fleshed out combat system. I'll give them that, but it's just it is a rinse and repeat. But I don't get tired of their combat just because it is cool, and Revelations is absolutely brutal with their combat, but it was, they need something else with it too.
Well, from what I seen in 3 is they went nuts. Like he's just standing in a pile of 20 and you don't have to wait for them to attack you to start these combos. You just like mash
which is how it
X
should
and
be,
you go and you go nuts. The other thing was inherently always broken in every Assassin's Creed is the jumping system. There's always
It varied because sometimes like the jumping would be perfect,
and
then sometimes you would think you're gonna jump to that next place, and he goes off the side for no apparent reason, and then you're kind of fucked sometimes.
Yeah, a lot. It worked well enough, but sometimes you're just like really, especially during like.
I think that's the limitations of how they designed it as well. Just because it's not going to be perfect all the time.
I don't know if it was 2 or 3 of them, 2 or Brotherhood that I'm thinking of right now. Maybe both of them, but a lot of those temples where it was timed. No, it's Brotherhood. It's Brotherhood for sure.
Yeah, those things are frustrating
because you were trying to go for 100% sync, and you'd hit the right buttons. You'd hold right trigger, or whatever, and up on the L3 and whatever, hit A. I forgot.
Yeah, it was right trigger to make it run, A to jump, and then you just move.
And you'd point right at it and it'd miss, and it could cost you the whole temple that you have to run through.
Which is like 10 minutes of gameplay sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's at the very end. You're just like, really? And it screwed up your whole thing because of the jumping system.
Seriously, there was a few temples I had to go through 3 or 4 times, so I probably spent close to 45 minutes on them.
On a 10-minute temple just because of broken jumping. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not enough to... Every game's got flaws. You're never going to get a perfect...
It was still an easy 100% to sync. It just, those are the only frustrating ones. Revelations is different. They actually have some really hard ones to sync. But, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking... Assassin's Creed 3 looks really brutal, and the movement seems a lot more fluid, as does the combat. I think it's just going to be a lot better of a game.
You know what actually helped out a lot, I think, is the Batman, the free-flowing combat system they made. That is so nice to fight in that game. We both played.
Rocksteady,
Yeah, I mean, that is such a nice system. They used it for Spider-Man. I think that Assassin's Creed 3 is, I mean, it's not the exact system, but they're trying to pull it in where it's that fluid combat where you go from one guy to the next guy, which they've been trying to do with the after you kill one guy, then you can go do that. But I think they want to do that without having to do the stupid wait for him to attack you thing with it.
To counter,
Yeah.
Yeah, the third, the Vita one looks very interesting too. You finally get to play as a woman, and
Yeah.
and that whole time period. I love American history, and
I'm actually wearing my Assassin's Creed medal right now.
yeah, I have that in my car. But I love the first 100 years of this. I like the the wars and stuff too. I love reading about all that stuff, but I'm really interested in like the first 100 years of this country, and that whole development down south was really cool with what was going on. The whole like revolution down there. I just can't wait. I think this is gonna blow us away. I think it's gonna be one of the best games on the Vita, which isn't saying much because there's only like 20 titles and only three of them are worth owning. But still, it's gonna be a really really good game. I can't wait for it.
No, I'll definitely try it out on your Vita.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because I'm gonna have I get all my Assassin's Creeds on the 360, so this will be my first one.
Yeah, I mean I did try the iPhone game from a few years ago. At this point, that was meh.
Bloodlines was all right as far as the whole thing that held the PSP from being great was it didn't have a second joystick.
Yeah,
and now the Vita finally corrected that, and these aren't selling. And the Vita or the PSP had all these problems. It sold 100 million units.
Yeah, figures.
They fixed everything, and now nobody's buying this fucking thing. It's so weird. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. All right, cool. Next story I got for you. Microsoft just shut down 2 projects up there in Vancouver. If you're a Microsoft Flight fan, the free-to-play one that came out this year, or free to get most of it, at least. That's how they released it. It's like you get most of the game, but they have to pay for the rest. What they did is they shut down the one team that was working on like all the extra DLC for it. So I would assume that means all the DLC is actually done for the game. Otherwise, they might have to have someone else do it. And the second one is it was Project Columbia, and it was a team that was actually making a Kinect-based storybook for kids. So they shut that down as well. So obviously, Microsoft does not care about kids.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to read.
I'm sure this has nothing to do with anything. It's just the way my head tied it in. Was Microsoft must have been watching Sony's E3 conference and just saw that storybook bomb.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's a good.
That thing was terrible. Oh my God. That was like a momentum killer for that entire
It
E3
was.
conference.
There was like no applause and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They had so much going that the PlayStation conference kicked ass up until that. And then it was just like
then it was just kind of like a dead silence. And then you had the dance games that would come on. It was the exact same way.
Whatever. I mean, this sucks. Is you never want to hear about this, especially our neighbors to the north. You don't want a couple there because the Canadian studios, as of
it
late,
was 35 people that was all that was working between these 2 studios. So
well, they're not shutting them down.
they're
right?
not. They're shutting down the
projects, not the studios.
Yeah, they're not like closing. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot better. But,
so they're not at least losing their job. Right
I mean,
the
Canadian developers as of late they've been kicking some serious ass.
Indeed.
They're the ones pumping out the Assassin's Creeds. The NHL games have been the best sporting games. Period. The last 3-4 years.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Madden, that's for sure.
Since 2009, I want to say maybe the NHL.
Yeah,
series.
that was the first year they added the skill stick, I believe. So that was a huge advancement for them.
What else are they making up there?
Let's see. You got that. I'm checking what other studios you got up there.
Don't they make FIFA up in Canada?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, Canada. Good stuff. Okay. Next story. Ouya just got some ports from OnLive, which will bring 80 publishers to the console on launch.
Damn Skippy. Yeah, I was when I saw this in the middle of the week, I'm like, hell yeah! Not like OnLive's what it's just. We went on this at great lengths last week. This is immediately gonna help on top of everything else they had planned. I mean, you just brought on so many third parties.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like I said, there was actually a couple more things that came up this week. Not enough to shed any light on anything yet, but that they're starting to negotiations with some first party developers that are going to make exclusives for the Ouya. So I think this thing's going to be great.
Yeah, no, it is. It's starting to actually get some support and some backing with it, so you can definitely see this thing lasting longer than a year, or the new tech you pick up 1 month and the next month it's sitting around. I think it's gonna have something with it. So.
The one thing that I think not scared everybody away, but confused everybody, is when they said it was going to use Android. People immediately pictured a cell phone on your TV.
Yeah.
Android is merely an operating system, much like Windows or what's Apple?
iOS.
It's OS X or whatever.
Yeah, either or.
It's just what it runs off of. It's not. It does. What they do is they take Android and then they design Android to have those little push buttons for your cell phone.
Yeah.
But Android is merely the system in which it runs off, like Linux or whatever. It'll be fine. It's not gonna. They can make it look like your cell phone or a tablet, but it doesn't have to necessarily be those slates like that. It's just what it's using for power.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
all.
And it's a nicely designed operating system that should be able to run all this great.
Yeah. So I
and
wouldn't,
highly customizable at that, because Android's always been that way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be this like giant cell phone like people are anticipating.
Yeah.
I think it's going to. I mean, they can easily put Batman Arkham Asylum on there and stuff off, and you don't have to go buy a $300 Xbox for it. You could play all these games, and at that point, it'll be super old, and maybe you could get Steam pricing on it, so you could pick up brand new digital games for $5.
And what's cool about the on live service, you don't actually download the games to the system. You actually stream them as you play.
Yeah, it's like Netflix.
Yeah, for games, it's cool. So if you haven't done that one, I don't personally use it because I just have Steam anyway. But OnLive is probably the third biggest digital distributor, because they bought out Directed Drive, which is one of the biggest websites back in the day. So they're probably third place right now behind Origin and Steam.
I remember when OnLive started, everybody was doubting it, just like they've been doing with the Ouya.
Yeah,
and OnLive kept kicking, and they're probably doing it wrong, but the idea is probably the future.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to worry. Like, the size of the Ouya would not support some of the games that are probably going to come out on it. So with this on live service, you'd just be able to stream them. You won't have to worry about all the memory on the system.
That's what I ultimately assume the PlayStation 5 and Xbox 1080
would be sound cooler.
Will ultimately end up being are these little tiny boxes, no bigger than your wallet, that literally just plug into the wall and then have the internet plug into them and have an out to your TV. And all they do is access Microsoft's headquarters or Sony's headquarters, where they have all the games on huge
servers and stuff. Yeah.
At their headquarters. And all it does is it's like an encryption key. And it just like this person does have access to
it's just like how your Steam works.
Game.
Yeah, it's like how your Steam works right now. It just got that huge list of stuff, and you just click it, you're playing.
Yeah, and you buy it, whatever, if it's all currency with an electronic
that's
wallet.
even like how you can do renting as well. It could bring back video game rentals, which they're nothing like they used to be.
Yeah, you just access them for 3 or 4 days at a time.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
$5 or $10.
I mean, Redbox does it right now with like $1.20 something a day or whatever.
Yeah.
Literally with that, you could do the exact same thing. You can plow through, Avatar, the game you can beat in 5 minutes for $1 or something.
And another thing that I just thought of when you were bringing that up is say it's $5 to rent. You could do this. Could save. They could make the developers a lot extra money too, because they could, if it's digitally, they could say fine, $5 to rent it if you want to play the campaign. Or
just like I don't remember how many shows it's been for. When we were talking about the splitting up the campaign, the multiplayer sale.
Well, no, I was saying $5.
Okay.
$5 for the campaign for 3 days, and $7.50 for 3 days. You can access the campaign and the multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
And then they cut you off.
Yeah.
Instead of having to buy an online pass for 3 days just to check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
To dabble and see if you want. And then I know OnLive does this. If you rent the game, digital or whatever, stream the game, and end up liking it, they take your rental fee out of the total purchase. So, I mean, if you already had that $7.50 invested and you decide you like the game, say it's a $30 game, now they'd only charge you $22.50. They're not going to keep that $7.50 and charge you an additional
Can you
$30.
do that through Redbox already? I could have swore I remember something
The
around.
Redbox, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's just rental. But I could have swore there was something where you could rent it, and then if you liked it enough, this might be like a Blockbuster way of doing it or gameplay. I don't remember. But anyway, it was the exact same kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
And what I was talking about is like, I don't know, episode somewhere in our teens, we talked about being able to buy just a single player of Call of Duty or just the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago at this point. But
Yeah, I don't think that would ever fly with Call of Duty, what I was just
Yeah.
explaining, because then everybody would just
do the multiplayer.
rent that game for $5
Or
to
that,
play the
yeah, too.
campaign.
Well, you know, you can always charge more than that too.
Yeah, well, they would have to. They'd
Yeah.
probably do 30.
I mean, you
and
could
30.
still, I was gonna say, you could still do the 30 and 30 or whatever.
rock on.
Yeah. And pretty much the news for the week, kind of slow, but still some good stuff out there.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Emails or rumors?
Do the emails.
Okay, because we only got one each.
Okay.
Email. Oh, dead air. Gotta pull up the webpage.
Gonna take a nice long slip from my coffee.
Where the hell is it? Okay. This is from Nicholas. I'm sorry if I'm screwing this up, man. Nicholas Coons.
Nicolas Cage.
Yes, Nicholas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is everyone.
And he actually said we had a great talk last week, and
Thank you.
Thank you. He's been thinking of buying one of the current gen consoles, either a PS3 or a 360. But he doesn't know if he should buy, which one he should buy, or if he should wait for the next console. I'm assuming since you're following us, you at least have a Wii then,
Probably, yeah.
or you're a PC gamer.
Yeah, either way.
Either way is fine. I don't know if you want to kick. I have
Okay, yeah, no, I can tell you off
ass
this.
loads to say about
Okay.
this. Go ahead, sir.
So literally, how I would break it down: if you're going to be a multiplayer gamer, the 360 is going to be your best way. Also, when you're thinking about buying, look at what your friends have. Who has what? Who will you actually be gaming with? You know, the more people you have on either console is going to be the better choice. It should be a 360 either way, because you have the party system with 360. I mean, we've been doing that for a year or whatever now, where you just party up, you talk, you play, you can be on different games at once, and you're still talking. It is a $60 monthly yearly subscription, but it's completely worth it on every level. In terms of if you're just doing single player games, though, if you're just going to be doing single player games, I'd probably have to give it to the PS3. The PS3 has better first party titles and more of them. And if the multiplayer isn't what you are looking for in particular, I'd probably give it the PS3, because nearly all games, I mean, the only thing you're really going to miss out is Gears, Forza, Halo.
If you don't even like racing, it's just Gears and Halo.
Yeah, just Gears and Halo, because everything else you get on there, and then you'll get more PS3 than you would.
PS3 has shitloads of exclusives.
Yeah. I mean, and they're all extremely good. I would, if it's single player you want, go for the PS3. If it's multiplayer, you're definitely want to lean towards the 360. And then look at what your friends got, because that's totally going to help out. Because if you're doing co-op gaming, it's the exact same kind of thing. Let's see. If you were gonna wait, I mean, I would have to say, like, get a console now. Make a decision what you want just off what I had said there. Don't wait, because there's a ton of games out there right now that are all worth playing. I mean, you can just go down the list of, ratings and see what's over 90%. You'll get, I don't know, probably 30, 40 games. You could just go
Probably
out.
more.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a ton of games you should definitely try out before waiting till the next gen. Even though that you might only, matter for a year or two with a console, there's still a ton you can play, especially if you have the money to just kind of throw around right now thinking about it. Because you can always just, use that towards, if you're trading into GameStop, you can always use that as a trade-in towards the next system. So that's what I would have to suggest.
Yeah. As for me, first and foremost, should you get one of these consoles? My vote is, if you have the money, there's no question in my mind. Both of them are amazing consoles. I'm going to kind of rehash some of what Mark said, but I got some different points to bring up as well. There's so many great games on either one, on Xbox or PS3, that to me, if you have the ability to go out there and get, even if you only have one, if you have an Xbox and you're a diehard Xbox fan and you've been on the fence about getting a PlayStation, make the jump if you're financially able to.
I did that a few years ago.
Yeah.
I jumped over for a while.
Same thing if you're a PlayStation fan. You don't have to be a fanboy. There's a lot of great games you're missing on both consoles.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't own them both. Especially nowadays, it's not like when they initially came out, which I know held a lot of people back from getting them when the PS3 was $599 US. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane when those things came out, and not everybody was able to afford them. But nowadays, I mean, even used, you can score one on
A
Craigslist.
little over 200, maybe.
You
even
get a new one
less.
for 200. You could
Yeah.
score one on Craigslist for 130, 140 bucks working. You don't have to worry about the fail rates as much anymore. I'm not saying they're foolproof, but both consoles have gotten a lot better with their reliability. So you can pick up the PS3 Slim or the black Xbox for well under $200 pre-owned. I mean, the one of the big things, if you have decided to say you own neither like yourself, and you're deciding between one or the other, it's a lot like what Mark said. What are you going to do with it? If you're a big shooter fan, there's no doubt in my mind you should go Xbox. The community's
How dare you?
The community's better. It's stronger. Xbox Live is, like he said, well worth the $60.
Yeah.
Everything connects better. The only people who disagree with that are PS fanboys who don't play on Xbox.
Yeah.
They really don't know, and they just assume PSN is better, which it has its strong points, but
It's still a little bit behind.
connectivity is not one of them. Xbox is far superior in every way on that. Yeah. If you're a single player guru, like Mark said, 100% go with the PS3 instead. It's free, so if you're not concerned about online anyway, you don't have to worry about that $60 a year. And the 99% of the game are multi-platform nowadays anyway. So if you're playing for campaigns, you can get almost everything on the PlayStation, like except for what he said with Halo and Gears and Forza and Fable. That's
Yeah,
pretty
Fable,
much it.
yeah.
If you're not a racing fan, that already eliminates one, and if you're not a shooting fan, that eliminates two other ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's not much that Xbox Live has a lot of great indie games and whatnot that PlayStation doesn't offer. But if you're not really into that crap, it doesn't matter anyway. But with PlayStation, I mean, there's the exclusive list is ridiculous. There's so many games that I couldn't imagine me never of playing.
Yeah.
That were on the PS3. Where I own them both, so I own all of them. But it's great for me. But I guess overall,
And then you do have PlayStation Plus, too.
yeah,
Even if you do the paid service, it's still worth it because they just give you games.
PlayStation Plus it's one of the best things ever. It really is.
Yeah, their subscription's way better than Xbox in that way.
Yeah, for the free shit. They give you $50, $60 worth of free games every month, and the service only costs $50 for a whole year. Like I said, if you're doing multiplayer, it's not even close. Xbox is far superior. Xbox has party chat. Like PlayStation's really weird because one of my buddies only owns PS3, and even because there's no way to set up a party, it'll keep disconnecting you every time you hop in game to game, because as soon as you leave the lobby, you have to re-invite them to your new lobby to talk to you again. It's the kind of stuff you only see, I guess, if you're playing with both consoles side by side, that if you just own the PS3, you just assume that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
And if you just own an Xbox and then you take a look at the PlayStation one time, you're like, why the hell would they do it this way? This is so stupid. But I don't know. But I guess overall, my closing, I guess, thing, the Wii, if you don't have one of those, is good for a handful of things. One would be first party titles,
Definitely.
Mario, Zelda, and I guess Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Kirby games are good too.
Kirby. Yeah. There you go. First party development games. It's the Wii is, no one can even dispute this. It's miles behind the PS3 and the Xbox graphically, internal power, and what it's capable of doing. But for what it's supposed to do, which is sell to its core audience and provide a good time, it does what it's supposed to. And it's a party platform. It's when you have people over. It's set up for an environment to get your whole family involved, and people who don't know how to pick up a controller and play a game. It gets them involved. It's more the everyman console. And for that, it does
basically
a great job.
everyone bought one at one point.
For that, it does a great job. Xbox, to me, is more for the core multiplayer player. Everything, like I said, on the Xbox Live is far better. connectivity, just the way everything works. In my opinion, more the better players have migrated to Xbox anyway. So if you're looking for some more serious competition,
And I can like I did Call of Duty on both systems, did Modern Warfare 2. Just looking at my stat, wise. I mean, same map, same everything. My stats were far lower on 360 just because people. I guess there's like you said,
the
better
better
competition.
the better people,
players are over there.
They migrate to Xbox,
And this is over probably about 50 hours on each console, so
Yeah.
it's not like a
So that's what it excels at is online play. That is the if you want shooters, it's hands down Xbox. If you want multiplayer play, it's hands down Xbox. And they do have, even though they're very limited in their exclusives, they have some excellent exclusives. Even though there's only the 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Gears of War, Halo, Forza, they're all
the
amazing.
franchises are amazing.
They're great franchises. PlayStation is if you are a single player, if you are old school campaign, don't really care about online. It's fine to have online connectivity, but if you're just going to sit there and tear through campaign after campaign after campaign, PlayStation is your bet.
Yeah, especially for lengthwise too.
Yeah, you get 95, probably more than that. 99% of titles available are on the PS3. It's got a really decent user base. The online's free if you
Uncharted,
choose it to be.
You got Infamous,
Jack
you got
and Daxter,
Little,
Ratchet and Clank,
the Little Big Planets.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane what they have available.
God of War.
Yeah.
Just thinking, we probably forgot 1 or 2, but yeah, I mean they got amazing games out for single player.
Yeah.
Infamous is by far one of my favorites, probably top like 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Because that was just great. I love that.
I never shut up about Uncharted.
Yeah.
The thing, so that's with that, and I just want to hit PCs real quick too. PCs are if you have a lot of money to burn. They're really cool. They're ahead in certain things like graphical and I guess ease of use, and stuff is cheaper, but they're still behind in my opinion on certain things like I guess ease of use in different aspects, like how you have to always.
I know, because you have the issues with the older games that weren't as user friendly. You had to be a little bit
more tech savvy with what's it called, Joy to Key.
Well,
you have to remap for every game.
Well,
That's
yeah,
kind of a pain.
Tony loves to use a actual 360 controller for it. I'm so used to keyboard at this point, it doesn't really matter. But
Doesn't bother you, though.
yeah, I mean, so if you're doing that, yeah, you have to do a little bit of your own personal work with it. And then I know with Company Heroes that one day that it wasn't a very nice lobby system just because there was still. I mean, the weekend we played was that free to play weekend, so there's still 11,000 games up. So newer PC games have fixed that for the most part. Usually, it's just kind of a quick join, or they've mimicked the consoles with the ease to play with friends and just their lobby system.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to bring up. Is it's amazing to me how far behind they are. PCs are supposed to be cutting edge. They're supposed to be the model in which the consoles emulate. And to me, Xbox Live is still, it's even better than the PC community. I mean, me and Mark, when we play on PC, we use Xbox to talk. We have our console on.
I could use Mumble or TeamSpeak or Vent, Skype to talk. But yeah, we use Xbox because we pay for it.
It's easier.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. The reason PC is like that with their lobby system, though, is because so many friends play together. And Xbox, you don't really have a lobby system. You have a quick play, or you pick that and it goes find you. PC is set up where you can play on the same server this every day and, actually have some kind of community with just the people who go there. So that's one of the nicer things about it. So that is, for certain games, a little bit missing at this point. So I hope they keep it both ways where you can go either or.
The other thing that's weird to me on PCs is how much nobody gets along. You want to play this game? Well, download Origin. Oh, you want to play this game? Get Battle.net. Oh, you want to play this game? Download Steam. You want to play this game from Square Enix? Go get their fucking thing. You want to play this game?
If you're doing multiplayer, it's all the same. You can get on if you bought trying to get a good Crisis, because Crisis is on both Steam and Origin. I can have my Origin copy, you can have your Steam copy, we could still play multiplayer games.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you personally.
Where you can get it from.
It's like, say you want to hop into Modern Warfare 3, and then you launch it from Steam, and then you decide to go play Battlefield 3. You got to close that and open up Origins to go.
Okay,
It's just like, it's not uniform and clean, and I don't know.
Well, before like all these systems came out, the digital sales, like all you had was the desktop icon, and that was it.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a nice place where it was all in one spot. It was all spread out through your desktop.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I know. But I guess all in all, we should probably get back to the actual question.
Yeah. Well, we don't have much to do today, so
Yeah,
that was a good discussion.
No, I still want to actually go a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
To me, when I look back, that's what I'm trying to steer you in the right direction with. If you're scared of the $60 yearly, you need Xbox Live. You don't need it, but you need it.
Yeah.
The Xbox is virtually
Netflix,
broken without
HBO Go. I mean, ESPN.
Yeah.
You know,
you kind of need
get all that just from being gold.
Yeah, you kind of need Xbox Live. So if that steers you away at all, I'd say go PlayStation. I'm kind of looking back at, like, if I go through history and like you take the 8-bit era and you're like, you know, pick your 5 games that you couldn't have missed from Nintendo. You know what I mean? It'd mainly be like the Super Mario's, the original Legend of Zelda, and maybe like Contra or something like that. Whatever. I'm just spitballing here. And then you like jump to 64, and you're like, what are the 5 games you couldn't have missed on the 64? And
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, and GoldenEye
Mario
007, Mario Kart, and Mario 64 or whatever. Blah blah blah. Ocarina of Time. Bam.
Wave Race.
Okay.
That's pretty fucking sweet too.
And then I look back at this generation, and I'm like, in 20 years, if somebody asked me that, what was there not to have missed? And aside from Halo, everything was, to me.
Are you talking about for on 360 itself?
I'm talking
Just
this
generation.
generation. What could you have not missed? To me, it's the Uncharted's.
I would have to say Assassin's Creed as well. That was just a complete different genre.
I agree. The Assassin's Creed. I think Red Dead Redemption is up there.
I could have left that one, I think.
Okay. I think the Halos are up there.
Yeah.
And probably Call of Duty, because even though as sick of as we are,
it's still going to be probably the most remembered game, sadly, just because of sales figures.
Yeah, it was what defined this generation.
Yeah.
It really was. But to me, I mean, you're split because 4 games are available on the 360 and 4 games are available on the PS3.
Yeah. Mass Effect, I suppose, because that was a
really big one as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. And those are probably the best ones.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you really look back, you're gonna forget your fucking your BioShock. It's sad as it is. You're gonna forget those titles that you're gonna forget.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because BioShock was
Yeah.
pretty revolutionary, I guess, when it first came out, but it just seems very. I don't know, just like the whole gun and the superpower, you know.
You will forget, though. You'll forget that. You'll forget about Borderlands in 20, 30
We'll see
years.
how BioShock Infinite goes. Maybe it'll refresh my minds.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, I guess it's
I'm just looking off my original Xbox games up there. I mean, half of them are Star Wars from regular Xbox. You know, I have Battlefront, Jedi, Outcast, and the Knights of the Republic series.
what like, okay, there's another example. What would you go back, well, you don't have a PS2, do you?
Oh, yeah, I did have one now.
Okay, what would you go back, like, to me,
Kingdom
last gen, aside from Halo 1 and 2, every game that, if I was to go back and play last gen, are all on the PS2. Everything.
Okay. So you're talking about like what games on regular Xbox would have been?
That's what I'm trying to answer this guy's question by thinking in the future, because the next gen is very close.
Yeah.
If you were to go back when the PS4 and the Xbox 720 are out, and they're like, "Hey, I can only play 5 games," like, I'm trying to like steer him in the right direction.
Yeah,
Which
I get what you
console would make the smarter buy? Because I've had them both pretty much since launch. I've had the Xbox a little longer, but yeah, that was last gen.
Yeah. Literally, I know I was looking up. Knights of the Republic wasn't exclusive to just Xbox. I was trying to look at that. So literally, if I'm going back to the regular Xbox games, it would have to be that, Crimson Skies, which is one of the best flight sims Xbox had, well, flight arcade games that they had. I'm looking at what I had. Freedom Fighters is amazing. Not as good as it didn't hold up very well, I guess, because I did try to play it. NHL Hit Series, but that was on both. I forget. Mercenaries. That was both on too.
I think it was both. Because like PlayStation, I know they had the Jack and Daxters. I know they had the Ratchet and Clanks, which were awesome. They were actually way better on the PS2. You had Kingdom Hearts were all there, weren't they?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Like seriously, on PS2, the series that are memorable for me are gonna be like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I know. Wow, I'm having a brain fart right now.
All Final Fantasies on there.
My PS2 collection is far bigger than my Xbox collection. The big ones that for me that stood out were the Oddworld series. For the original Xbox, because they stole the rights from PS2, because PS1 had the exclusives on the Oddworld series way back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
I guess if you have no interest in like Halo or Gears, I
think it has to do with that, and then the single player to multiplayer, what you want to do.
Yeah. If you're up for, if you have the opportunity, I'd say grab both. I really would. You're missing so many great experiences by picking and choosing, but unfortunately, that's sometimes that's what happened to me when I was younger, and I had to pick one or the other. Like I picked Genesis over Super Nintendo, and I eventually got Super Nintendo when I saved up with my own money. But my parents,
only did the Genesis. Huh? I did not ever get Super Nintendo.
Like I went back.
Oh my God, you missed Super Nintendo. I'm like, yeah, I had Genesis.
Like I went back and grabbed eventually all the consoles that I never had when I started making my own money. Like I know I picked Dreamcast initially.
That was Dreamcast too.
That was the horse I ran with, and
N64.
I picked PS1. I didn't touch the N64. I went back and got that, and I think that was a great decision.
Yeah, no, I never got a PS1. I did a PS2. I went on to Xbox. Ended up liking Xbox more, and I've kind of stuck with them. Yeah. I have gotten both systems since PS2, Xbox. I've gotten both of them. Just 360, Xbox, I should say, has got most of my playtime over the last 10 years, I guess now. Over. Yeah.
I've been flopping. I have no allegiance. I went from Sega to Sony. Now I'm way more through.
I've had all the major companies.
I think I'm the biggest PS3 fan out of us, right?
Most likely. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate them. I bought it myself. I played the exclusives. There's more exclusives out now, of course, but I did enjoy it when I had it.
I try to stand up for them as much as I can because I do like Sony a lot, but
I only played for the single.
Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. I do like the Xbox better this generation. But like I said, if you're gonna pretty much strictly stay on multiplayer, or you really do want to go play Halo or Gears of War, which are both great titles, and to me alone are worth getting an Xbox for.
I would say just find a friend who had, like, if you are just going to be doing single player, just find a friend who has the Xbox and go buy the game. Say, hey, sit down and play with me, because they're all that and Gears are both co-op split screen.
I think all in all that's Mark gave probably some of the best advice when we first started this is find out what your buddies have.
Yeah.
If everybody's got an Xbox,
that's what influenced me over time.
You don't want to. I know that happened within our group. We're all on Xbox, and we have one guy who has a PS3, and he kind of hops on Xbox just to talk to us.
Yeah.
And he's playing his own game. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Find out what your friends are playing. That's probably the best advice you can get.
Nice 40-minute answer.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We
wasn't that long. Yeah.
We don't have much to talk about today. We got one. That was our one email. We got one big rumor that's actually noteworthy, and we can hop into that.
Well, let's do it.
It's actually PlayStation related. A leak came out from a specific user on Reddit, I think, who... crap, what's his name? Whatever, man.
John Smith, 22.
Yeah. What happened was a few images leaked, and they say leak all over the pages, of the upcoming PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, a.k.a. the worst video game name ever.
Sony Smash Brothers.
I've
literally been telling everyone at work that it has caught on, sadly.
And what they've been doing is slowly they've had this great marketing strategy because they keep putting themselves in the news every 2 or 3 weeks because they're slowly announcing like 2 characters a month.
Yeah, it's good.
So when you forget about them and you're like, oh, there's all these other games coming out, they're like, bam, they put themselves back in the news because they announced 2 more characters and 2 more maps. And they've been doing that, and they're going to continue to do that all the way to launch. What happened was the shit supposedly got leaked. They reached out to Sony, and Sony said they don't comment on rumor or speculation. But I honestly can't keep straight which guys were announced already and which ones were not. So I'm just going to read off the whole list of what we got. Some of them were probably confirmed. I remember some of them that were confirmed, but some of them are just kind of like, I'm not sure. So, okay. This is what the picture has so far. It's got the Big Daddy from BioShock. He's been confirmed. Colonel Reddick from Killzone. He's been confirmed. Those two I know for sure. Dante from Devil May Cry, which was another great PS2 exclusive, by the way. Whatchamacallit? That was one of the rumored guys. Something that looks like evil Cole McGrath.
Yeah.
But people are... when I was reading through the rumor or the comments on these rumors, a lot of people think that that's kind of silly, and they think people just think it looks like him, but it can actually be the dude from the Resistance series, Resistance 3.
They are similar.
They do look, yeah. Fat Princess is confirmed. Then they have Good Cole.
From what I hear, Fat Princess right now is actually the most overpowered character.
Really?
Yes. Right now, I've heard that Fat Princess is the easiest. It's the cheapest, I guess.
Yeah.
So, if you want early tips and stuff, because I've actually been talking to people who've been playing it. So
nice. We have Good Cole, which is only called Good Cole because they're not sure if the other one's Evil Cole or if it's Resistance.
Yeah,
3.
I mean,
But
because
Cole McGrath is confirmed.
I would have to say that both of them are going to be in it, because literally, if you play Infamous, you know that both sides have different powers. So literally, each one would be its own character.
Yeah. But they were also speculating that could just be because for the pre-order bonus, there's skin packs that transform.
Yeah,
like
that could
like
be it too.
like
because I would not see why the Resistance guy would not be in it either. Like that's
like actually the next two examples, which are both confirmed as well. Jack from Jack and Daxter just got confirmed last week. He was the one that they came out. Him and Kratos. Both of these work well with the weapons or the skin packs because if you think about it, both of them have evolved greatly. Jack, if you look at him between 1, 2, and 3, he has 3 almost completely different characters. As is Kratos, if you look at him in the upcoming Ascension, he's a lot less beat up. He's a lot smaller. He's not as muscular. He's not as insane. The rage isn't quite there yet. And
we'll see.
Yeah, they'll be
It'll
yelling.
There will be yelling.
But he looks slightly different. So I mean, you can have like PS2 style Kratos from God of War. You can have Ascension.
Make the resolution of them really crappy.
Then you got Noriko from Heavenly Sword. I don't know if I said that right. I've never played with him.
Yeah, I thought about doing Heavenly Sword. It was it looked like cool. It worked a lot with the not the DualShock, the 6-axis game.
Nature Ake, he got confirmed at E3. Parappa the Rapper was one of the 4 original characters that got announced. Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, he's one of the rumored pictures. Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, which he's another one that leaked in this rumor, which I think's a no-brainer. You don't.
All these are basically no-brainers.
Yeah, you don't leave fucking Ratchet out of this. Sackboy is another one that got leaked in this
Getting
one.
ripped apart by Kratos.
Why? The one that is in this leak that I'm super excited about is Sir Daniel Fortescue from the Medieval series. I was actually showing Mark about this earlier.
I did not really know the series. I was like, the RTS one?
Yeah.
No, it's a PS2 and PSP game. Is that what it was? Yeah.
No, PS1.
PS1 and PSP game.
And then they revamped it and gave it a different
HD
name.
remake.
Yeah, sort of, on a PSP. They're really, really fun games. They're just kind of like a beat 'em up. It's a third-person overview.
Looks like something from Tim Schafer.
Tim Burton?
Well, I was going to say it looks like Psychonauts.
Oh, because to me it looks very Tim Burton-esque.
You could say a
Very
cross
Nightmare-
between them because it looks very Nightmare Before Christmas-ish, but the way it looks and plays looked a lot like a Psychonauts.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in those games, that might be something you should play.
It's also hysterical. The actual...
And that would go with Psychonauts, too.
Yeah, the storyline is almost more fun. Like listening to the dialogue and the story develop and unravel, especially in Medieval Resurrection, is almost better than the
Erection?
Yeah, you know it. It's almost better than the actual gameplay. And the gameplay is great too. So it's if you have a PSP or even a Vita, go buy it off the digital
store
for your Vita off the PS3s.
God, you just made that so confusing.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, next character. Sly Cooper's confirmed. He got confirmed at the E3s, I think.
Yeah, I think it was one of the originals.
Here's an interesting one. This is another rumor. Spike from Ape Escape.
That'd
Remember
be interesting. Yeah, because those haven't been around a bit.
Sweet Tooth got confirmed. I know he looked like the most overpowered at E3 during the demo, but that could have just been the guy who was playing as him was
possibly.
better.
I'm sure it has a lot to do with skill with the character.
Yeah. And here's the other one. Toro from Sony Icon. I don't know what the fuck that is. That might be a Japanese thing.
Yeah, who was it?
Toro. Toro.
He's gonna have a red cape and he's going to wave it around.
He's a lawnmower.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was just saying Toro. I was saying Toro because do that with the bull charging at you.
The other side annotation that was on this leak is that the Big Daddy is 100% confirmed through Xbox or through Sony, but strangely enough, its image is not on this leaked image of the entire cast list.
So
very
could be an unlocked character because with Marvel those ones aren't on there until you actually unlock them.
Yeah. There's also a leak of all of the levels. I don't really want to read through all.
Yeah,
those.
That doesn't really matter too much.
But they all got leaked as well.
One of the ones I'm actually surprised there's no Kingdom Hearts characters.
Well,
or even Final Fantasy ones, I suppose you could do.
Yeah, this list seems pretty crazy. I was expecting around 12 characters because not because Sony doesn't have the.
Oh, they have tons.
Yeah, it's that I assumed you'd leave room for like what you said when you beat the game. Yeah. You unlock this character, or you unlock that character.
Well, there's also that, and that cannot be on that screen.
Yeah, and then there's DLC. Like, these 4 new characters.
Like, I don't see why the Final Fantasy characters wouldn't be put in those, because those have been exclusives for it up until very recently.
Well, Final Fantasy, technically, like, Square owns those. They're not... half these guys, they had to get rights to, like...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, those are characters that they should be going after.
Yeah. Because they have
that's going to bring in a huge market of just the Final Fantasy players. I know Final Fantasy isn't as huge as it is in Asia still.
Yeah.
But literally, I mean, you're still going to get a good market just by having the rights to those.
It'd be kind of funny with this game is if I can't think of his name right now.
And Kingdom Hearts are bringing a lot of Americans.
The main character from Heavy Rain, what's his name?
I don't remember. But I know what you're talking about.
And his special would just be like a bunch of red balloons and him Jason!
And everyone just ripped off screen.
Oh, man, that'd be cool.
AoE attack.
Or just start like a downpour comes, just all the water. And then you see the little origami pieces like flying into everybody's face.
Those would be funny characters to have in the...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be cool, like hidden secret character. Like some of the guys from Heavy Rain, because I love Jaden. He was the FBI guy played by a French dude, so his accent sucked. But he was my favorite character out of that game, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find it real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't remember. I did play that game. I actually did see all the endings.
We talk about it all the time. I can't. I don't remember right now. Heavy Rain.
Doing his Google searches. We like to pluralize here.
Yeah. Dead Air is okay. His name... What the hell, dude?
I don't know. Let me check it out. Because Tony can't do it.
Suck on the interwebs.
Heavy Rain. Let's see what we got. Ethan Mars.
Ethan Mars. That is what I was looking for. Yes. Anyway, he'd be funny.
Yeah.
Person! Okay. What? That's really our only rumor.
That was a good one.
What do you think? Think it's real?
All those sound good. I really do believe that they're gonna have the unlocked characters. I mean, even Super Smash Bros. Is the exact same way with half the characters are locked like right off the bat. You have to play through the game to get them. So I'm sure there's that was a very small list because that takes 20, 30, 40 hours maybe to get like a whole list of them in Super Smash. Just to play through each campaign or whatever. I forget what it's called. I haven't played Super Smash in a long time, but just to get the next character unlocked, I'm sure there's more in there. I mean, that sounds like a short list to me too. I do believe it's going to be a pretty massive game, character-wise, right off the bat. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna. I think it'll have quite a bit, and then they'll be, like I said, there'll be DLC packs like they did with Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Or for $5 you get another 2 or 3 characters. Yeah. They'll be unlockable.
I'd say at
characters.
least on launch it'd probably be about double that amount or so. That'd probably be a good number for it. Because this is supposed to be like a 4-player game, so it's confirmed for 4, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to have enough characters where it doesn't get stale within a week.
That's why Super Smash has a ton, you know, like you start off like 20 or so.
Yeah, because you don't want people like bored of the 20 characters or whatever you gave them.
Yeah,
after a month while they're waiting for the DLC pack. You don't want that.
Yeah, so I say there's still gonna be more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it then, huh?
I think so. I think it's time for that Tony's topic of the week.
I like it. Today, well, I can Tony's topic of the week. All right.
Nice short, sweet one.
The big one that came up this week was apparently GameStop is looking. Ew, they smell.
Yeah, we're both fired from GameStop now.
Yeah, whatever. They don't know who we are.
Yeah.
Can't see me.
Interwebs.
So they're looking into reselling digital content. What?
Not my codes.
Okay. So.
I can start off if you would like.
Yeah, get some initial thoughts. Don't go too deep.
Yeah. You know, the story broke up, and like a lot of the news stories for it, like people are just like, "What does this mean?" You know, that kind of thing. I got a little bit of an impression on it. It's gonna be like digital codes. It can be either, you know, digital codes from your games, so like your Steam codes or whatever it's gonna be. There was also someone brought up the point of it could be like map packs, like it would be extra trade-in value or, you know, something along those lines.
We're gonna boil it down. So I'm trying to dance around it here. This is interesting. It's very interesting. I'll leave it at that. Let's okay. Let's start with how we think this would work.
That's the one problem with it. I don't see this working. Like GameStop's trade-in system is very independent. Like you're taking codes from Xbox, PlayStation. I mean, I'm sure the Wii has its own. All these services are independent. Where you buy the online pass through Xbox, you have to like de-link that from their servers on your account, meaning that they have to have some kind of access to, you know, all the major companies. It's like it's a lot of working together.
Well, here's the thing. GameStop's apparently already talking to publishers about this. The publishers are not. I don't think they're going to like this at all.
No, they're not.
But
That's
GameStop,
cutting into their profits again.
Yeah, but GameStop has a heavy fist, and these developers, much as they don't want to admit it, they need GameStop. Like,
they do.
90% of their sales come from GameStop. Toys R Us, Best Buy, Target, all put together. Don't even scratch what GameStop does.
Yeah.
They need them to get their product out there. It seems to me, I don't know how much it'd work for like online passes and whatnot. It seems to me that they'd start this with how Steam is. Almost like
games.
You'd get locked out through a mini update that was sent individually to your
I know. It's
IP.
Yeah.
And then the unlock code would be given elsewhere or something. And
because you could sell it as a used code, I guess.
Used key, and the developers would have to be on board. Maybe the way the GameStop...
This is going to be like a used game sale, if you're not really understanding it yet. I mean, that's basically what it's going to be.
Maybe GameStop's talking to them like, hey, say we sell this for $10, since you're doing that work on your end to give us a new unlock code. We'll take care of everything. We'll take the loss and the hit, and we'll give them the pre-order or the return money. We'll take care of all the transactions. You just get $2 per transaction for doing the code work or what have you. That's maybe how they'll coax them into doing it.
Yeah.
But it brings up the point of, would this kind of turn GameStop almost into a monopoly? They already GameStop's doing some sneaky stuff. They already control the used game market. They take care of most of the new game market. Now
it can't be a monopoly though with so many competing companies though.
Yeah. Now they're dabbling in. They're kind of turning into like the all-for-one pawn store for electronics though. Now they're taking in tablets, iPhones, iPads, Androids. They're fucking.
I mean, they're well behind on that though. With the, I mean, yes, these are the pre-owned ones, but I mean, I'm saying it's not going to turn into like we're we're gonna sue them for being a monopoly, hence EA. But it's they want to be the one-stop shop.
Yeah. They want to be the one stop.
Stop. Shifty eyes.
Okay. You think this will hurt new game sales at all?
Not new game sales.
New digital sales.
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're going to sell for cheaper the exact same thing, yeah, you're going to go for that. Especially if they sell it in the way where you save 10% off for having the power-up card. It's even cheaper than the other way. I mean, yeah, this is why the developers are going to hate it, because they already hate the used game market anyway, because they don't get that profit. That's going straight to GameStop. You're now going to be having there's the idea of map packs out there that you could sell those back. Hey, you're trading in Modern Warfare 2. You can check out their account, see that they bought all the map packs. Hey, I'll take those back too. You're not going to need them anymore, and you get more money for it. If you're not going to get the game anymore, then you can turn around and resell that. I mean, you're probably going to get $2 or $3 for selling a map pack, if that. And then you can turn around and sell it for $12.99 or whatever, $10. You're still making an $8 profit per sale.
Yeah. I think this would destroy. It hurts physical media sale. It would destroy digital sales. Half the reason the really anal people won't buy used is because they don't want to buy something that's used, potentially scratched, scuffed. A little kid, you don't know what he did with it, fingerprints, what have you. You want a nice sealed copy. When you're talking digital, you're talking lines of code.
Yeah.
There is no used. You're getting a brand new product. So unless you have that need to get something day one, I don't see there being a brand new digital market anymore if this takes over.
Well, it's the thing, it's the exact same thing how GameStop's working now with their games. You have to have that in stock. You have to actually have it traded in to get a used copy of it. It's going to take a long time to have that many codes, because you're getting one code traded in. That's one more customer. I mean, I don't see this taking. I mean, it's going to, if they can work out a system where it's easy enough to search up their profile, because that's what you have to do, is you have to have some kind of system where you can actually look into their account history. And I think that's going to be a totally different subject of people's privacy. But you have to take that code, and then you have one copy to sell of it. That's why I think it's going to hit it a little bit with the digital, the new digital codes that they'll be selling, but you aren't going to have that many. I don't think there's going to be that many copies floating around for a while, at least.
Well, the one thing that's different is, I think we're looking at a little small scale, because we're used to dealing with our personal GameStop. It's like somebody comes in looking for BioShock 2, and you're like, well, we only have that one copy. When you're talking digital, you're talking the whole world would be under one server of GameStop's availability, as opposed to you walk into that one store and being like, well, let me do it.
Well, no, that's what I was going with it. We're the entire company, but that's one copy for 6,000 some stores to sell.
Well, see, I don't even know if it'd be stores if it's digital. It might all be online. Kind of like a Steam competitor from GameStop.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. It would be that one, you took in one trade for your Call of Duty map pack. Now they have the ability to sell that, but the entire company can sell the entire United States. It's not gonna be there very long,
But you also have the whole country trading into one database. Sure, the whole country's buying into one database,
but the selling into it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be as hard to find a used copy of what you want like it is if you rely,
because you can have the one that just got traded in at Texas sent all the way up to Maine, and then instantly.
Yeah, and on computers, there's all those whatchamacallits, those dingers, when you're buying airline tickets and it goes below a certain price when you set it oh, I don't want to fly to Vegas until it's less than $80.
Okay, yeah,
and the second it hits $80, there's that little email you get, or that little
text,
dinger,
whatever.
So I mean, you could just be on a waiting list and hey, notify me the second Modern Warfare 3 is available used under $39.99 or whatever, digitally. Bam. And you just get that instant, or you could even maybe have a slider where GameStop will set it up where you have money in an electronic wallet, and the second it drops below, say, $30 for that particular game that you want, it automatically completes the transaction for you. You'll just turn on your...
I can get the, we're going with the game sales. I've been looking at it as the DLC, but yeah, because I do forget that they are doing the games for Windows Live because they're ridiculously priced compared to stores. But
yeah,
I mean, you could do that. I mean, you could be selling trading in your game towards an element. You can use Microsoft or PSN would take into effect of like the games you buy off that to trade them in to get wallet credit for it, and then enhance use that to buy more stuff. It'd be a great market that way. But I know GameStop, they have to kind of do that, and then they have to get all the actual support from all of the other companies and publishers.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
It's a massive project for them if they decide to go this route. I think it's not. I don't know. Like it's gonna be a hard process to sell to people because this is having to see like in your download history to unlink things. You're taking things away, like the potential. You see the you're in the guy's account. I'm sure it would be where you couldn't do this, but there also is a chance that it could be where like, hey, there's the Call of Duty map pack or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I want that. Let me take it off his account as well. The potential stealing of it.
Maybe it wouldn't be so intrusive though. Maybe they set up like a whole different server site thing, whatever, off to the side where you would have to physically. Nobody could maybe look into your personal database. Maybe they can only go to GameStop's. GameStop would probably have access to all of us. Because the whole like sending them your shit in, what have you. But maybe like it's not even up for public viewing until you fully complete the transaction of trading it in. And now you can't tell who it came from or where it came from. It's just you want to buy it or not, and then you get emailed the new
I had meant as like the employees looking into the taking your maps, taking the digital games you were trading in or whatever. That could
get creepy.
That's what I mean. It's kind of a creep factor to it because you could see that he bought the bathing suit download for Dead or Alive.
Boob physics.
Yeah, boob physics. I mean, it's just like creepy stuff like that. It's like looking into somebody's download folder. On a computer, on a home network. It can be creepy.
Yeah, it's definitely a little sneaky. It opens up so many possibilities too. Like you were saying, with DLC, it that alone brings up a ridiculous amount of
potential money.
Yeah, it's not just DLC if you really think about it. Although that's included, think of pre-order incentives. Think of maps that get locked out content, day one DLC or whatever. Think of stuff that gets locked out for online passes. Think if you could sell a used online, which kind of defeats the purpose of online passes. But think of if there was some way to like figure it out where the developers were okay with it, maybe for $6 instead of $10.
Yeah.
Just all that stuff, like I don't know, because certain games they end up like.
Man, this could make it so much worse with the content that you have to buy or that they lock. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go terribly wrong with this, I suppose, and be scary.
Well, I mean, there's even stuff like I'm thinking Gears of War, right? 3. There's certain skins that you unlocked for the guns for participating in the beta.
Yeah.
Which no matter what you do, you can't get anymore because if you didn't participate in that week of the beta,
Well, it could just be not resellable or not sellable.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. What if somebody really doesn't care about that who earned it? This can open up like a side black market of like
skins.
Like I don't have them all. I only participated in 2 of the 4 weeks of the beta, so I missed out on 2 weeks of presents. A couple of which are the skins, which I can no longer get on my Lancer because those 2 weeks I just didn't think to play Gears of War beta.
Yeah.
So if I really, really wanted one, and some guy doesn't care because he never uses it anyway, say he only rocks...
because I have the Fire Lancer, and everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I mean, I could probably sell it for $100.
I don't know about all that.
$100. $100. Shut up. $100.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, dude. What if you really didn't care and you're just like, ooh, these are in really high demand. I'll sell it for $15.
Yeah. It also brings up the point of PlayStation Plus. They're giving you those games for free every month.
See, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I don't want to touch on that quite yet.
Oh, okay. We'll skip that. I didn't say that.
Because Xbox Live and well, let's just talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. Just because GameStop's working this out potentially with the publishers and developers digitally off what have those doesn't mean they're gonna infiltrate Xbox Live or PlayStation Network at all. The games that Xbox sells
I still think
you,
that they have to go through the Microsoft servers though for that. Because what happened is the Steam servers were actually down or sometime last week. So I cannot sell Steam wallet codes because the Steam servers were down. So there was a communication kind of lapse. So I couldn't do anything with that. So
Wait. Is that what happened? Because I bought a $20 code and it said I had an error and it wouldn't let me.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. The Steam servers were down.
Is it back up?
Well, yeah, that was just for like a few hours. But anyhow,
So it was on that one, just my bad luck, because I was really pissed. I thought I pissed away $20
no, yeah, no.
to go home and retry it. Okay, I'm sorry about the sidetrack. I was
Yeah,
just
no, yeah, no.
making sure I didn't lose $20. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
go
should,
ahead.
you should try it. Yeah, because it was down in like the morning. Did you try it in like the morning or something?
I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, from what I had heard, it was fixed. But anyway, so like you have those kind of like, I still think you have to go through the Microsoft server for those codes. I think they hold all those. I don't think that's actually like the publisher who's holding those. I think that's a Microsoft thing.
See, that brings up a whole different realm of possibilities. If you were to get you'll never get Microsoft on board with this. But say they pull a rabbit out of their hat, and they do, and they get
$50 billion.
yeah, and PlayStation's involved as well. Think of just the other possibilities this brings up. Say you take a game like a really one-time game. I can't think of it. Something with no replay value that was maybe
Call of Duty.
Okay, let me take all that back. Just say you played Limbo. You beat
That's
it.
a good one.
You beat it. You walk through. You saw everything. You see how to get away from everything, and you get your 200 out of 200 gamer score. There's not much for you.
It's pretty hard for that game. Now I'm
Yeah.
just getting gone.
Yeah. There's not much to go back to that game for.
Yeah.
You're kind of done with it. And
And you're-
instead of just
Currently, you're just stuck with it.
it's just sitting on your hard drive. Some other person who maybe is not willing to dish out the 800 Microsoft points to buy it might want your used copy that you'll never see. That I don't know how they do. How can they force you to take it off of your hard drive?
Because this is why you would have to delink the accounts, and that means you have to go through Microsoft because that is tied into your Microsoft gamertag account, which you can only get through the like secret backdoor sites of the Microsoft. Because you can go through that. I forget the actual. If you go to Xbox.com on the bottom page thing, there's actually a link to a page that will show you a more in-depth thing. I've been there. You have to delink it from that. It's not like it is a public like website, but it's not easy to get to. And you would have to be going into that kind of thing and messing with that.
Yeah.
And this is when you have to take into effect the human error and possible, taking advantage of taking stuff off. You may or may not know. Most people don't look at their receipts after they give it to them. They don't know what happened,
Yeah. The other thing that, because obviously this isn't happening tomorrow, if ever. Another idea that you just made me think of would say this is a next gen type thing where maybe Microsoft doesn't let you buy stuff to your hard drive anymore. Neither does PlayStation. Maybe when you buy it, it stays in the cloud. And that'd be a lot easier.
It would be like an on live where it just streams as you play it.
Unless you buy the physical disc, they would still own it. You would just buy access.
Yeah.
So then they can cut you off from the source when you sold your code.
Yeah. That's exactly, like, that is a better system of actually doing this. Like, I don't think this would be a this-gen
It's not plausible
project.
right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think it is. I don't think it should be. It is plausible for next-gen, though.
Yeah.
Depending on how they set up their servers like this.
Okay. I have a bunch of other, because we got so, we, touched on most of my shit. The one other thing I kind of wanted to bring up, and then we could actually kind of wrap it up, was... Do you think this can bleed over? Like, do you think GameStop could kind of open up an unintentional market that they're trying to corner, but they end up just allowing by opening?
Are you trying to be like a Steam or a Origin, like kind of like that kind of market?
Well, that's
what they're trying for right now.
They're trying to be the one
stop shop. Stop.
But by doing this, maybe
Stop.
do they open up the possibility for other people to work in deals with these publishers, and then you have Amazon competing with them, and then you open it up for BestBuy.com as well as even Craigslist. What if you in our area, just somebody down the code or down the line is just hey, I want this gone tonight, $5 for the brand new game that just came out yesterday.
$100 for my
$100 bucks. But you could open up all these secondary and third, because right now that's what happens. Is I mean, GameStop is not the only way to buy a used game. You can get them from
Best Buy, Craigslist,
Amazon,
friends, Amazon,
all that stuff, and maybe do these other people figure out a way to do it as well, where. Because I think people don't have allegiances digitally. I think you just go where it's cheaper.
Yeah, I would say that's probably good. That and maybe where it's all in one spot.
Yeah. When you have brick and mortar, people do, whether they admit it or realize that, they do tend to build personal relationships with like a building. They tend to like the environment or the friendly people that are there or what have you, and they might go out of their way to drive past a GameStop to go to Best Buy or whatever, just because they like the employees or the environment or the music that they play better.
Yeah.
When you're shopping from your chair, you don't have those allegiances. I know I've personally done it before I worked for GameStop. I would pass a GameStop to go to a GameStop that I liked better. You build personal allegiances to actual stores that never, ever, ever would happen online.
Well, yeah, because you're not going through a person, you're going through, an interface. Yeah. You're not talking to anybody.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, as much shit as they talk about GameStop, a lot of people do like shopping there. So if this becomes like a shift to complete digital distribution, they might end up screwing themselves by setting up something where people are just like, well, I'm not physically going to GameStop. I'm just buying a code. It's a little cheaper on Craigslist. Let me snag it there. And then all of a sudden, by starting this, they kind of open up the floodgates and end up screwing themselves.
It's a possibility. I think it really has a lot to do with how available this system is to get into, because this could be one of those things where you have to go to a retailer to resell, or you have to go through at least Xbox.com and you sell the code back to them. It's the availability of how it's gonna. How can you sell your game back? That kind of thing. Because if it's just gonna give you, hey, here's the code, go put it up somewhere. I mean, we'll pay you when it sells. Like that kind of thing. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I think this is gonna be one of those official retail kind of things to go through, because I don't see them just giving out the codes to the game and then you go sell it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, PC games, that's how they work. You type in the PC download code. That's a possibility. I don't see them starting that with console games, though, where you have to type in your key, and then, when you're trying to sell it, you have to deactivate it, and then you can sell the code back.
Okay. And then the absolute last point I wanted to bring up is just how you think that price would be determined. I know with us personally,
there's $5 cheaper usually, or
$2.
Well,
it depends. Like if something absolutely bombs, I know it drops to 25 pretty quickly.
Yeah, basically.
Like if it just did atrociously at sales. Higher demand games, stuff fluctuates. I know I personally do price changes on 3-year-old games because of sequels coming up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that week
it jumps up. Yeah,
it's worth $5 more.
$5 more right now.
Yeah. So I mean, the GameStop has a proven system that works. They understand that a sequel's coming up. They understand demand is there to go back and.
Oh, Mass Effect was $40 on Mass Effect 1 was $40. Mass Effect 2 was $30, and then Mass Effect 3 was $60 when it came out.
Yeah. And now they're
the
dropping again. They're going back down to So when the demand is there, GameStop understands they have a well-established pricing system that they understand it's corporate wide and it fluctuates depending on demand. If it's all digital, I just curious what you think would happen, because I mean,
digital through GameStop right now, the prices never fluctuate. It's always that set price. They don't do like the like Xbox does with the half off this week kind of thing. Like,
I'm talking used codes.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be looking at. I mean, if it's like a $10 online code, I would say $6.99 is a good price point for that. If you're talking about like the new Call of Duty that you bought for maybe $60 off of the Zone, I would think they would keep it their same pricing system and maybe 54, maybe even 50.
Very interesting. Yeah. I guess, yeah. It's going to depend. I think a lot of factors come in: supply, demand.
That too, yeah.
If it's like you said, where there's only that 1 or 2 codes the next day, they could probably do it for $5 less. If a week later there's 10,000 codes because everybody's just sick of the game,
then
I think just to get rid of them, you can sell them for 25 or 30.
Yeah,
Then as soon as you start running out of codes, jack his shit back up to 50.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a variable price.
Very, very interesting, sir.
Indeed.
Because I know Craigslist and Amazon are always going to beat
And
GameStop.
eBay's.
Yeah, they're always.
We forgot to say eBay. eBay's
too.
probably one of the original, I would have to say, pre-owned sellers.
Yeah, it's the biggest garage sale. Well, Craigslist too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the biggest
Craigslist as
garage
well.
sale
Yeah.
online. Craigslist is more local. You can actually go look at it before you buy. Whereas eBay, you're kind of taking a chance.
Yeah, usually.
But Craigslist, you're taking a chance because you don't know who the fuck you're going to meet. So
Yeah, you might get murdered.
and on eBay, safe because you're buying your own screen. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
the equal out. But that's pretty much all I got. I don't know if you wanted to knock it out with some final thoughts and we get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Let's see. It's an interesting idea. It really matters how it's going to be. I really think it's going to be a very controlled system. I don't think this is going to be like an open, everyone can do it kind of thing. It's going to be you have to go through specific people, and with that, I think this is only going to help the consumer though. I really do, because you're going to be buying pre-owned codes. There's not much wrong with that, I mean, that you can't go wrong really. You're going to pay less and you'll get the exact same thing. I really don't see it happening. I mean, I know this is what they want because they're totally into that's just a lot more profit than buying a new game from them. And I just don't see it ever happening just because of the amount. I mean, this would be, I think, a massive program that would have to be invest. Well, I don't think the investment's the thing. I think it's the getting the same cooperation out of so many people that I just don't think it's good. I mean, you might get it only for Xbox. You might get it only for Sony to do it, so you can sell your Sony codes back. It's a possibility that they might limit it at first, and then possibly if they see, Xbox sees, oh, they're making money off that, because, they're going to maybe they'll get a little bit of a cut of the pre-owned sale of it.
Real quick, that's what happened with Netflix. Everybody fought it kicking and screaming except for a couple of studios. Then everybody saw how well it worked and they jumped on board. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's
I just wanted to
exactly
get that in there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. Then Xbox sees that PlayStation's making some good money off of this. They jump in the mix, and now the system just kind of grows from there.
Yeah. As for myself, we should be really clear. This is complete speculation.
Oh
this
yeah,
whole thing.
definitely. This is why it was a good discussion.
Yeah,
question.
this is total rumor. This don't get scared or anything. I don't think this is going to happen, and if it does, I think it's an awful long way away.
Yeah.
It's kind of it would do good things, but it would do bad things. Obviously, it'd be another way for the developers to lose.
It had some growing pains, I think, with it.
They'd lose an ass load of money because of this. It's like their one way to avoid use sales as digital, and now if they take that marketplace as well, you see why GameStop is doing this, because they see that the world will eventually be all digital.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look at the news stories for the last months. Yeah. I mean, there's every developer saying that, hey, we want to go digital, that kind of thing.
Because everybody's looking at that. This is the way to X out GameStop finally. So GameStop's got to cover their ass. They're going to find a way to do this, maybe.
Yeah.
They got to find a way to infiltrate it or do something. They got to prepare. They can't just shut down the business because Sony and Microsoft decide to go all digital.
Yeah. I don't think that would ever, put them out of business, instantly, but they're future proofing. They're looking.
Yeah, they're looking.
I can't make a forward compatible joke on this one.
They're looking into it, but I don't think it's happening. But it would have some good effects as well, because I mean, I think you'd get an awful lot less shovelware if it'd create a different kind of game if they had to worry about this, because people would have to take replayability into consideration. What can you do? Kind of like Call of Duty. Most people don't sell Call of Duty back because there's a lot of replayability. Even if you put it down for a month,
yeah, go back play.
You just hop right back in, and it's fun. What can you do to not make it a 6-hour campaign that somebody tears through, and then the next day after you launch, there's 10,000 used codes out there because everybody tore through your campaign. Nobody's ever going to pick it up again, and they're trying to get the maximum value for their game back. What can you do to make people hang on to it so that people are forced to, if they want that game, to go get another code? It'll make everybody rethink the way it is they design games.
Yeah.
There might be more involved. There might be a great campaign, like what Gears of War 3 did. If you ever get tired of the campaign, don't worry, you got Horde mode. You get tired of that, you got multiplayer. You get tired of that, you got Beast mode.
Yeah.
It's not just like, well, tear through this 12-hour campaign and the game's pretty much worthless unless you want to replay the campaign. So, I mean, it could make a higher quality of games. The problem is you're going to see significantly less games come out because of that. People are going to be scared. Their development dollars are going to be tighter, and they're going to have to...
I think that's how the market's going right now, though, is to
consolidating.
save as much money as you can on development. And digital is by far going to save you a lot more money.
They consolidate into bigger, sure-proof titles. That's why you're seeing a lot of sequels, 2s and 3s, because it's proven that those sell better than new IPs, because people are like, they just see the 2 and 3 and feel comfortable. Like, even if the first game was garbage, like Two Worlds. Two Worlds 2 sold well because they're like, oh, well.
Oh, it's a second one? Okay.
Apparently, you know.
That was a weird one because it wasn't outstanding at all.
Yeah. But they're like, people look at it like, oh, apparently it merited a second copy. It's got to be a good game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sequels in the video game world are weird because they usually do better than their predecessors, as opposed to movies where sequels never live up to the original.
Unless you're Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. Godfather. 2
And
is better
Godfather,
than
yeah.
Godfather 1.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
Aside from that, I mean, I like I said, I don't think this is happening. I don't think it's coming anytime soon, even if it does come up. But
This could be an eventual thing, but I think this is well in the future.
Yeah, if ever.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm a physical media kind of guy. I will hang on. I will fight digital for as long as I can
Until it kills him.
Yeah, until there's absolutely no other option. Like the only way for
He
digital
buys vinyl still.
Yeah, the only way for digital to kick off for me would be to have it significantly less at launch, because to me it makes no sense that
It's the same price.
Yeah.
And especially with the Windows on demand.
Yeah.
They're the same price as you get in store. You're not even getting anything physical.
it
should be at least $10 less.
Yeah, because I understand there's shrink wrap, there's packaging, there's a booklet, there's a physical disc, there's shipping,
yeah.
GameStop / Best Buy /
Yeah.
Target has to get their cut. There's all these factors that lead into it. So to me, that'd be the one way to switch me over. Is
$10 cheaper at least.
I
Yeah.
think more. I think 15 or 20.
Okay. I mean, literally, because like a $10 difference for me might be the difference of me actually going to a midnight at GameStop or actually just purchasing online, because I'm still going to be saving money and I don't have to move and get,
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the one way you can maybe talk me into it. Whereas with a physical media, if it's the exact same price, you get all that extra stuff. You get something tangible in your hand, not lines of code. And as for the moment, if you want, you can trade it in for an actual value. The digital, you're paying the same price,
And you have it forever.
There's zero replay. You can't get $1 back for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. To me, they basically have to force me where that's the only way I can play video games.
And some ability to get some kind of value out of it again.
Yeah.
Would be awesome.
And I've also alluded to this back in the day on one of our other podcasts that I hate digital because you forget you own the game. There's just something about looking at your wall of video games,
Yeah.
as opposed to having to go. I do it all the time. Like once every 2 or 3 months, I go into my
I
Xbox
did it for the
Live.
podcast. I was going up the games I still have from original Xbox, and
No, I'm talking about within my digitally.
you were saying how you forget.
Yeah,
too.
once every couple months, I go and click in and check out my library, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot I bought this game 4 years ago.
Hmm.
You just whereas opposed to my wall that's sitting next to my console that has all the cases, you tend not to forget that you own that game as easily. So
Yeah.
I like physical media better, but that's just me.
It looks prettier too.
It's pretty. But yeah, I wouldn't be too scared. That's about all I got, man.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I'm good.
All right, guys, this has been episode 25. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys next week. Same time, same place.